Well, good morning. This is the second morning here at Hilton Lakes No. 2. Slept pretty good last night. A little warmer last night. Night before it was got down into the 39, 40 range, and then cloud covers built overnight, and there's a 30% chance of thunder showers. 50% chance. So you can see it coming. There's still little patches of blue, but it's moving in pretty fast. So I bet you by 2 o'clock we'll probably be getting rain here. But we're only going to do a day hike today. We're going to go back over toward the junction where the trail splits to Davis Lake and Hilton No. 2, and it goes the other direction toward Hilton Lake 3, 4, 5, and all the rest of them. So I want to see Lake No. 3 really bad. Well, maybe we'll see Lake No. 4. They're pretty close together, so once we get up here, we have to go up some steep switchbacks, and they said there's a pretty good cascade of water coming down the outlet from Lake No. 3, so we'll see. I can hear it from here, so mosquitoes have been bad this trip. I mean, I'm sure that they can get worse than this, but we've never really experienced mosquitoes like this in September. Well, we're leaving Hilton Lake No. 2 on a day hike. We're going to head up to Lake No. 3, maybe Lake No. 4. Got some pretty good elevation gain. We do a bunch of steep switchbacks, but it's early in the morning still, and all those clouds that we had this morning went away. It's clear now, so there's still 30 to 50% chance of rain this afternoon. We'll see what happens. We're all brought our rain shells just in case. But it's uphill and it's steep, at least to Lake No. 3. Get your heart started real quick this morning. Well, this is the outflow from Lake No. 3 as it heads downslope toward Lake No. 2. There's like dual waterfalls that works its way downstream. Well, we just came up from Second Lake, Hilton Lake, and we worked our way up some steep switchbacks to this gorgeous drop off. And then this is Lake No. 3 right here. This is pretty stunning. I mean, there are campsites here. Supposedly people have camped here. You see things online. It's a tough hump up those switchbacks. Those are steep. They're short, but they're steep. But if you had the energy to do it, maybe stay one night at Hilton Lake No. 2 and then haul your stuff up here for 3. This would be a tough climb from Rock Creek, but I'm sure it's been done. But this is what you're looking at when you arrive. Looks something right out of Backpacker magazine or National Geographic. This is stunning. And I was told from a guy down below that he was day hiking up here and caught several fairly decent sized golden trouts up here. So if golden trout's what you're after, this is the elevation you need to be at. We're about 10,300 feet, maybe 400 feet, something like that. Hilton Lake No. 3. Hilton Lake No. 4 somewhere. I don't know where. We're going to see if we can find that next. Well, we left Lake No. 3, went up over a little rise, and now we've been going steadily downhill. We can hear what sounds like an outflow. I can see like a marshy grass area over here, so we have a ways to go still. The shitty part is we're going to have to go back up to get back to Lake No. 3, and we're going to drop several hundred feet. We were at 10.4 at one point, and now we're under 10.3, so a couple hundred feet we're going to have to work our way back up, which sucks, but oh well. Nice and green and grassy down here. Well, we're finally approaching Lake No. 4. pretty impressive. Wasn't where we thought it would be. We thought it'd be over to the left. It's a little more peaceful and serene than we figured. Alright, we've been climbing up, kind of scrambling above lake number 4. That's Huntington on the left. Lake number 4 below us. And then over there is lake number 2, and then Big Davis Lake at the far end. A little over 10,665 feet right here. Working our way up toward lake number 5. A little bit of scrambling up here. Ought to be right above this top. That's the outlet of lake number 5. Mount Huntington to the right. Well, we made it over the top. We went cross country from lake number 4 up and over that steep ridge and came down here. That's lake number 5 over here. We're going to work our way down to the corner over there, and there's supposedly a trail that leads back down to lake number 3, which is where Dave's at. So we're pushing 10,700 feet right here, and clouds are moving in, but it looks like they're holding off for now. They might be under favor, Mount Huntington over there. All right, well, we're working our way toward lake number 6. We finally reached a little plateau here. Just over the rise. Should be lake number 6. Lake number 5 is down here below us. So, at least this is nice and flat. We're about almost 10,800 feet right here. Here's a little thin, quite a bit of snow still. Has a little bit of a pink tinge to it. I think that's algae that's growing. Well, this is lake number 6. Nice and green. All that snow runoff. Well, this is Hilton Lake number 6, from right along the water's edge. It's amazing. Cloud just came in. It was prettier a second ago. This is the upper end of lake number 6. I think we've reached about the end of the trail for today. Dave's waiting for us down there at lake number 3. A little bit of snow fields here. Impressive view though, isn't it? Well, it's the top end, lake 5. Just on the other side of that, down below, is lake 3. We got to get up and over and get down to lake 3. Meet Dave. As the clouds are thickening, they're coming from that way, so we got to get a move on. Well, this is the outlet. Flows downstream, drops off the edge for lake number 3. That's Davis Lake, way off in the distance. We're going to go to the right. Well, we're working our way down from lake, what, 5 or 4? 4.
4 to 3.
And we're heading down the back way to Lake 3, and there really isn't a trail. What we're doing is we're just kind of following the cairns. There's a cairn right over there. You can kind of see where trail has sort of been worn out. So obviously it's not a maintained trail. We're trying to make decent time because the storm is coming. We can feel the temperature dropping. We want to at least get down to Lake 3. So we can meet up with Dave. Dave's probably worried about us. So there's more cairns as we go along. It's almost like a little mini Stonehenge.
I got 3 there, 3 there, 3 there.
Yep.
This is it right there. You can see the trail.
Well, the clouds have come in. We're starting to hear some thunder on a pretty regular basis. It's real faint, it's still far away, but it's coming. I haven't seen any lightning yet. Hopefully we won't get any. Well, we're sitting in our campsite. We just got back from hiking up to the top of Hilton Lake 3, 4, 5, and 6 on a day hike, and it was starting to, you can see it was coming in, the storm was moving in. It was 50% chance of rain tonight and thunderstorms, so I kind of figured it was coming. It's only about 2:30, and it looks like it's finally reached us here at the lake. There's been quite a few rolling thunders going by, but they've been in the distance. We've had the last couple were a little closer, so I'm sure. There you go, there's one right there. Now I have a floorless teepee, or floorless shelter, so I don't have the luxury of a bathtub floor like Dave and Jerry. They're a little smarter than me. I had to make a little dam on the back side of my shelter to try to keep most of the water from coming down and around. I've actually got my sleeping bag in a bivy sack, so my sleeping bag should be fine. Hopefully the water will drain off and around my teepee and head down slope. We'll see what happens. Well, it looks like I might have to close up the shelter here a little bit. We're at Hilton Lake number 2, and it's starting to rain pretty good now. I left the front end open, but it's starting to blow in a little bit, so I think I'm going to have to close it. I'll leave the camera running for a little bit. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of thunder or something before I have to close the front end up here. My pants are starting to get a little wet. And a little bit of water starting to drip in, so I'm going to have to close the front end here. So much for the view. All right, coming back in. It's coming down pretty good now. On the inside, You know, I've got an open edge here, and you can see where I kind of improved it a little bit. I kind of put some dams back there, but I might have to move some rocks around a little bit. Now I get to sit back and enjoy the rain. Whew. These are the times you wish you had a full shelter with a bathtub floor. You know, you don't have to worry about what comes along on the outside that drips inside your tent. So far I'm dry. I'm dry everywhere. I'm using my little down slippers as a pillow. It's actually working pretty good. But hopefully we won't get 5 inches of rain over here. This is going to make a big muddy mess tomorrow when we hike out. Tell you what though, I'm just glad we weren't up on top. That would have sucked. And you have a lightning risk for being up there exposed like that, and even though there's thunder, I haven't seen any lightning, I guarantee you there's some around. So in the meantime, just gonna hang out here, take a little siesta at the lake, and listen to the soothing rain. Well, that's a pretty good blast of thunder. This thing's still rolling. It's rolling for 5 seconds before I turn the camera on. See if we get any more. I'll give you a virtual tour of my shelter. I got my rain jacket over my backpack. My backpack's sitting on a piece of plastic, so it's not going to get wet anyway. And there's no rain or water coming inside the shelter, so the only mud I have is for me going in and out of the shelter. But I've got my recording device here and my water and stuff, so I'm just going to hang out here and wait for this to cease. Hopefully we'll get some more thunder, maybe some lightning flashes. That'd be pretty cool. You know, they always tell you when you go to the Sierras, you got to be prepared for rain. You know, always bring your rain gear, always bring a waterproof shelter of some kind. Good idea to bring rain pants, change of clothes, stay away from cotton if you can. You know, the old saying, cotton kills. Well, once it gets wet, it takes forever to dry. Wool's pretty good, but the lightweight merino wool is expensive, and it works great, but it's a lot. The Icebreaker Tech Tee is like $75, so there's a couple of different brands that are pretty good. I think I'm wearing one right now. I've got it underneath this other shirt that I'm wearing. But it'd be nice to have some waterproof pants, some Sierra Design full zip rain pants or something, and a waterproof jacket, you know, something that seems sealed with a nice hood. So if you have to be out there in it, you know, you can hike through it, no problem, especially if you got a pack cover. But best thing to do is just to make sure you've done your activities early in the morning, because almost every time we've been up here in the afternoon, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, it rains. It rained at us at Rock Creek. Last year in Yosemite, it rained on us near Glen Allen. And I think the year before that, up in Thousand Island Lakes, it rained on us there too, all about the same time. And that's another reason why they tell you when you go to hike Mount Whitney, be sure to be off the top by 2:30, because clouds congregate on the top by that metal-roofed summit hut. And a lot of times people will try to seek shelter in there. What they don't realize is there's lightning rods along the roof, and it's not a very good place to be. Somebody's been killed there on top of Whitney before, so. But anyway, so it sounds like the rain has tapered off a little bit. I'm hoping it'll lighten up and we'll be able to go back outside. I hope that I don't have to spend the next, 12 hours inside my shelter. So far, it's holding up pretty good. Well, now the wind has picked up. Whoa. Now we'll test the integrity of my stakes. I know several of them aren't in the ground that good. And I'm short a couple of stakes. I had to borrow some from Dave, so that's what you get for not setting up your shelter at home before you bring it out here. You don't realize My other tent had 6 steaks. This one takes like 8 or 9, and I forgot that I didn't bring the extra steaks. So temperature's dropped. It's 47 degrees now. It's kind of cool. I've got an external thermometer hung up on the tree. It's waterproof. And this is the receiver in here. It says it's 47 degrees. That's not too bad. I'm actually hot wearing this. It looked like it was kind of slowing down a little bit on the rain, and I can see like the light coming through, so there's a blue sky out there somewhere. I don't know where, but it's out there. Hopefully this will let up in a little bit and we'll get a little patch of blue sky, be able to dry things out a little bit. I hate to have to roll all this up tomorrow morning when it's all wet and pack it up. In the meantime, now we're dealing with the wind. Clouds are blowing by Hilton Lake number 2. Well, if you've ever been outside and you can't drink coffee anymore and you want something that's refreshing, really soaks into your body really easy, especially if you've done a long hike, pine needle tea is really refreshing. It's got a lot of citric acid in it. Tons of vitamin C that nourish your muscles after a tough day hike. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to use my little fire ant stove and my little GSI kettle. I'm going to make some tea here. My old trusty mower number 2. I cut up some pine needles here. You don't need to cut them that small, you know, just you can dice them a little bit. And what's also good to do too is kind of smash them with the flat edge of your knife. And as soon as you do that, or if you smash them between your fingers, you can really smell the citric acid and the tangy and tartness that's coming from this. And what I'll do is I'll just put this directly in the kettle. And eventually I'll go fill this up with water. It just rained here, so everything's kind of wet still. This will be really good. Very refreshing. I mean, you can just smell it. It smells almost like gum. So I'm going to put this in the kettle. Go put some water in it. Set it on my stove. Since there's no wood fires allowed here, I technically can't use the fire ant as a wood burning stove. But I have a transient that I can put in here. That's what I've been using primarily to do my meals with. But I've also been using this little shelf here that works for triaxine tabs and Esbit cubes, things like that. And I've got some of those too. So that's how I'm going to go use now. I'm going to go put one of those on there, get it going. I don't need to get it to a full rolling boil, just hot enough to drink. All right, we got it going now. Takes a little bit to get it going, but, and like I said, one little tab looks like this isn't enough to get a rolling boil. You'd probably need 2, but to get it warm enough just to heat up some tea, for some pine needle tea, it'll work fine. It's been boiling, or it's been brewing for a couple minutes now. The flame's still going, but it's getting a little low, but you can see the steam coming out. It's plenty hot enough for a beverage. Now the key is to not get the pine needles in the cup. So 101 uses for a mosquito net. Normally I don't use a mosquito net. I use like a handy wipe or something like that, but I couldn't find mine. It's here somewhere, I just couldn't find it. So I'm going to pour this in there. The head net catches pine needles. I'll leave it on there for a little longer. And there you have it. I can actually continue to cook these pine needles. You see the steam coming off. Let it go for a little longer. In the meantime, I'm gonna have me some nice, refreshing pine needle tea. Oh, that's good. It's hot too. Cheers. We're going to try Mountain House beef stew. It only requires 3/4 of a cup of water. That's not a whole lot. So I've got my water here. Actually, I didn't. I was going to pour it in my kettle. It doesn't take much. But this cooks a whole. It's about 7-8 ounces. So I figured this is close enough for me. So I'll throw that in there. I'm going to be using my fire ant stove, and I've got the Trangia burner sitting inside there. Earlier I was using this thing because I was using like an Esbit cube just to heat up some water, but now this is going to take a full rolling boil, so I'm going to make sure this is good and hot. So I'm just going to pour in it's actually a little less, it's probably about an ounce, and I'm going to light this sucker up. It won't take much. Bad thing about alcohol is you really can't tell if it's lit. And once it blossoms, it's not there yet. Alright, there we go. Starting to go. Kettle on there. And then once it gets to a rolling boil, I'm going to open this up, take out the desiccant. Doesn't look too bad, beef stew. This shouldn't take long. Make sure this is going. Oh yeah, it's going good. I'll stir it up with this little titanium spoon I got. Should take my trash with me. Then in a few minutes I'll be eating beef stew. I wonder how long this has to sit and hydrate. It says carefully stir and close after 4 minutes. Let it stand 8 to 9 minutes. That's not too bad. So let's come back and check it out once it's boiling. Well, it's been about 8 or 9 minutes. Looks pretty good. You know, people have the problem with the spoons, titanium spoons like this, not being able to reach the bottom of the bag and get your fingers around the inside of the bag, and it's kind of a pain. So I bought this. It was kind of a gimmick. REI. It's called a Kung Fu. It's a titanium spoon, but it's got slits in it. Comes with chopsticks. It allows you to stir your Mountain House meals and get right down to the bottom of the bag without getting your hands all gummed up. So how's that, huh? Let's go check this out. Let's go see what it looks like. See what it tastes like. Hopefully this has been sitting long enough. It's pretty good. Not like the pot roast that Mom used to make, but nevertheless, not too bad. A little bit of peas and carrots, little chunks of beef, a little bit of potatoes. This definitely beats the old dehydrated meals from years back. Mountain House has come a long way. It's nice that it weighs almost nothing. It only requires 5 ounces of water, so Doesn't take a lot of alcohol to boil in 5 ounces. And I imagine if you had a gigapower stove, you cook this probably in 30 seconds or less. But anyway, I'm going to sit back and enjoy my beef stew here at Hilton Lake number 2.
Last dinner.
Well, we got quite the thunderstorm rolling on here. And you can hear it hitting the top of the shelter and thunder rolling by. We saw a couple of flashes of lightning. And hopefully this won't be too bad. So far, the locust gear Kaffir shelter has been pretty waterproof. You do have to worry a little bit around the edges. I've built a little wall of dirt, and I have some rocks and a log along the backside in case anything runs downhill. It'll divert it around the outside of the shelter. Rained pretty hard earlier, and I didn't get anything in here, so we'll see. This is kind of fun, though. This is our last night here at Hilton Lakes, and it's given us a going-away present. I'm hoping this thunderstorm rolls by here pretty soon, because I don't want to spend half the night in here inside my shelter. It's kind of fun, though. It's not quite time to get in bed yet. Just using my clothing stuff bag as a pillow. Believe it or not, it's not really that cold. Somewhere down here, I actually have a thermometer here somewhere. I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. .47. So 47 degrees, that's not too bad, I guess. Could be a lot colder than that.